You probably have seen Rabash in different states, in states of descent, and that person that explains to you the laws and rules, he probably was in a different states of descent, in opposite, I mean, in contradictions to himself. What was your attitude toward that? Haha. Don't be naive. What are you talking about? What states of descent contradicts himself? These are states when you tune out in order to collect new ballast and to soar with it. These states, of course, are very, very steep. When a person is switched off from the world, switched off of his senses, his mind, and he's immersed in such heavy internal revolutions. But he goes through all that. He overcomes all of that. I cannot say anything about such states. And it's impossible to express them. How, just as you cannot explain to a child your impressions from a symphony. He doesn't have these sensations yet. He has not undergone through descents, ascents, commotions, sufferings, feelings, joys. They don't have that yet. They are not flexible yet inside. His feelings are not yet unfolded. The same thing applies to a person in our world comparing to a Kabbalist. Therefore, we need to work on how to unfold people, open them up. And then they will begin to comprehend this fulfillment that exists in our world, that force that exists, that field in which we exist, which holds together the entire matter. That's the outcome of Kabbalistic or integral education. But being in such state, nevertheless, you remain a teacher and you still give lessons and communicate with students, meaning you can, kick butts and how to relate to it. Meaning, how to relate to it. All these are these actions inadequate? In these states, they can be controversial rather than in the other state. The student. No, let's say you talk to a student, and after some time you tell him, "What the hell, what?" And after some time you tell him, "What the hell are you doing?" To you, it appears that I say like that. You hear it like that. It's not me who say the opposite. It's you who hear the opposite. And to me, those things are the same. There is a correct example from Torah when the Creator says, "I'll make your son," tells that to Abraham. "I'll make your son the source of all generations of spiritual people on earth." And after a few minutes, he tells, "Slaughter him." So, how can you put those two events together to say that those are the same things? So, in that case, how should we listen to you? How to listen? Just like that, just like Abraham listened. Only he had a capability to rise above those two events, not using his own chicken mind, but using spiritual mind, so-called faith above reason, meaning in the quality of bestowal, to see that those are the same things. You cannot do here anything, my dear, only trying. But first thing is not to say that teacher is not right. Thus, you don't do harm to the teacher, but you cut yourself out from an opportunity to rise to a new level of consciousness, where the opposites merge, without destroying, annulling one another. That's the thing. It's not about the criticism of a teacher, but the fact that it's the moment of a higher truth, to which we cannot rise using our human mind. We cannot. But that moment is precisely that point through which you can enter like through the wall all of a sudden, and everything makes way, and you pass. Just for example, you say, do like that, then it's done, perfect. Then you come back and say, take apart, put it back, what the heck? And what should be the internal work of a person? This and that, and he puts it together and takes it apart. So how to relate to it correctly? How to relate nothing, be grateful that I gave you 2 tasks instead of 1. Be good. Everything, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but if everything was evolving clearly, deterministically, and we would understand all of that, we would only develop our brain, and we would walk around in our world being more and more smarter, and nothing beyond that, precisely because we are put in such situations which we completely don't understand, in which we cannot get oriented through our mind and our senses. Precisely that evokes in us need to leap to a new level, how to flip yourself, how to completely change the outlook to this world. In that a person begins to sense the need. I must look differently. I must begin to hear, to understand differently, to hear, to see. Everything must become different, so that everything would completely change in me. That need must appear. Rabash did such things often with you? No, really, you didn't know. And what do I do? I mean, he did those tricks on you all of the time. You and this. Really, when you don't understand what someone is doing to you, and to get lost in it. Now you're explaining, and you hold on to your mind less, to your approach to life, to your intellect. Give up to the flow, otherwise you will never escape it. Escape your brain, your body. You will never rise above it. You will never acquire the next level of thinking. That's it. Think until the next time.